This Nibble originally aired on RSBANDB Update 738. BYOB. Bring your own bugs. Enjoy.
Hey, it's the RR Man here. 15-year veteran, just picked up my cape the other week. It's a fantastic cape, by the way. Better than any of these comp cape guys out there. That's one of the first items I've actually ever keepsaked, so I'm going to be wearing it all the time. But anyway, I just wanted to ask, now that the sky hasn't fallen and after the hunter nerf, all that's all blown over and we're on to the next one, the farming one, I'm just wondering, is there any way we could ever teach people or inform them of how nerfs work? They simply need to be done sometimes, you know? JX makes mistakes. Every gaming company makes mistakes. So many games out there have patch notes. You know, maybe they're not every week like JX, but so many games out there, they change stats on characters. I don't know. Fortnite, I hear, and these games I don't play, like Overwatch and all that. They have, they decrease this person's attack damage by 5%. They increase this person's damage by 20%. Stuff like that happens all the time, and you don't seem to get as many people whinging as RuneScape when it comes to a nerf. Quite frankly, I'm on the opposite side of tennis, and I think the hunter skill needed to be nerfed because those numbers were ridiculous. People are going to get to the level 99 or 120, whatever, they're going way too fast. Jagex doesn't want that. It's not what they need. That's way too fast. People are going to get to the max and quit. That's just how it goes. Not everyone, even if it's 50% of people that would do that. That's way too many people. So yes, basically, my question is, what can we do to stop people getting so up in arms about a nerf? Maybe we need to change the name. Nerf, it's a way too negative phrase, you know? This is all about balance at the end of the day. Nerfing, it sounds so negative. Anyway, happy scaping, guys. Peace out.
You know, the reason the RS players get so concerned and involved in the debates about what's happening with the game and what's happening with the XP rates is because, you can look at something like Fortnite or you can look at something like Overwatch, but the biggest difference about those is that the folks at Blizzard or the folks at Epic who make Fortnite don't involve the community in their decision-making about what kind of content to bring out. It's as simple as that. The players are involved at an arm's length of making RuneScape. That doesn't happen in Overwatch. That doesn't happen in Fortnite. That is why things are the way they are in RS. And, we've been at varying degrees on the spectrum. We've been at the point where players were submitting updates via Rune Labs and they were going into game. We've been at the point where players were voting on updates in polls, and now we're at the point where players are voting on general themes in surveys, and that's informing the decisions that Jagex then makes on that. So to answer that part of the question, why the players are so passionate about it, it's because the players are involved in the development cycle. I think that's the answer to that side of it.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I can add to that is, like the man expressed, it's a 15-year cape. So a lot of our players have been here for a very long time.
And they remember EOC.
And they're not going anywhere. And, Fortnite's like, 3-4 years old, Overwatch.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah.
And they're not going to have the shelf life of a RuneScape. There will be another Battle Royale that comes out.
Or so Battle Royale won't even be the hot sauce.
It won't even be the next thing, yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of apples and oranges with that.
Yeah. And, I actually want to talk about nerfs and whatnot, because I think game balance is incredibly important to RuneScape and all MMOs in general and all games in general where there's some kind of scene going on where players are interacting and potentially winning or losing competitions based on the XP rates that are there. And, I think what we need to look at in terms of XP is that there's two choices. And we've talked about this before, and Maud Osborne's kind of alluded to this, is that he'd very much love to start over. And if you start over, you build the game to have a correct XP ecosystem and all the different skills in game, which is something that's not going to happen because it just takes so much time. But on the other hand, if we want to have these high XP rates, we need to be looking at methods of training that allow you to do that and allow players, as you say, to get sweaty if they want to with the tick system. But there needs to be a place for that XP to go. And we've detailed that in terms of what is effectively amounts to a virtual XP tracker and getting a reward along the way. That's what we've detailed that too. And, you know, I think there's also another way to do it, and I don't know how you would have done that with Hunter and farming, but rather than nerfing those to, say, the player-owned farm and the Tortles, I think the other options might have been to expand out the content in other areas of farming or other areas of Hunter, which on the surface sounds good because that's what we call, that's effectively a nerf by bringing other things up, right? Is it kind of levels the playing field. But that requires you to create many other different pieces of content, which isn't something that there's necessarily the time for in-game. So I think that's a side that we can go into as well on that, is that rather than nerfing, you could bring other stuff up, but that involves creating more content. So that's why the difficult decision to nerf, I think, was made. So I don't know if I have anything else left on that one. I think that pretty much covers that. You can watch full episodes of RSBANDB Update right here on this YouTube channel. You can also listen to audio versions of RSBANDB Update at update.rsbnb.com, and feel free to subscribe to our show and any number of podcast listeners out there at update.rsbnb.com/subscribe.